what we're doing here, I just went to the second-hand store, the salvage yard, got these pieces of jarrah, $70. I think there was 18 meters of it. I'm gonna make a scaffold so I can get up there and do all that work up there. So we just had to check that the scaffold was less wide than the dining room, and we did. We had to chop it up a bit, but it's going to have a 2.4 sheet of ply, form ply on it as a deck, 2 meter long legs. We'll probably go up 1.5 meters, then I'll be able to reach everything up there, and we're just screwing it together now. I'm probably making one. I can reuse all this timber, but I cannot reuse something that I've hired. Nice. We're having a lot of attrition with the driver bits. I've just got the cheap, nasty Ryobi ones, and I've broken a few already. Just use nails on these braces, and I'll just get where these clamps are still on. I'll put proper screws in there, but that'll be it for the screws. What's happened here is I basically had to smash this bit of laminate out to make room for the oven, and I broke it. So the broken bits are going to be pointing inside where they won't be seen. So I've just got to, where I glued it back on, it's a bit ugly. So I've just got to tune that up with the sander. And then we're going to glue it back in, bash some screws into it. Might just mask up. I don't want melamine juice in my lungs. Not a Chinese baby who has it in their baby formula. Just had to smooth out those. It's a very tight fit, maybe millimeter perfect, so we'll try that. The backing behind these cupboards, behind these cupboard doors, this has to go in here. The brad nails are in the way, so they'll have to be cut off. This is a very tight fit, so I might take an extra millimeter off it. Alright, I'm doing a bit of recycling of these screws. They've got to be exactly the right length so they don't poke out the front. I might even put them in a little bit diagonal. Now, I had to go and buy a posi because I've got all these old recycled screws and they're posi. I don't think anyone uses posi anymore. Alright, so the reason I'm screwing this piece in is I had to chop quite a bit out of this bench top to fit the induction cooktop in, and it was pretty much to the millimeter. So the cooktop fit, and then there was an allowable distance to the back wall that you could have, and it probably was in 5 millimeters of that allowance. So I had to take this front edge off the cabinet. The spacer in between I had to reduce in size, and I had to screw it back in. I had to get the jigsaw and really enlarge this hole to make the induction cooktop fit. That was a very tight fit there to get this induction hot plate in, but this little bodge up we've done here should make it all work and give this cupboard a bit of strength on this front edge where it really needs it. Alright, so we got this bit of brickwork out of the room towards the back door, but it was so heavy there was no way I could get it over this door frame without wrecking the door frame. So when your neighbours say anything you want, just ask, I asked to borrow his engine hoist. So a few rules of rigging: don't have the diagonal hoist rope, don't tie knots in the slings, had to ignore those. See how this hoist is overbalanced there, so I had to ballast it up by standing on it. And we needed a second man in the room there to steady it up. And Jack the concreter there, he's struggling with the concept of holding that wood in the way without getting his fingers in the way. But eventually we got there. Very nice induction cooktop going in here, very horrible tiles. So I spent quite a bit of time bolstering those tiles off. Obviously the tile glue's a lot stronger than the brick, so in some spots the brick came out probably 10 mils deeper, maybe 15 there. So I don't know what to do there, probably just bog it up. I'm going to put a stainless steel splashback on there. And over here, there's only really two bits of splashback in this kitchen. One's here and one's around the cooktop. So I thought, let's get both of them. So I've got my work cut out for me here. I've been at this all morning, so probably an hour, just trying to do it neat, but it's not a neat job. I've got to just disconnect the power while I get those around the power point now. So that's all off. I'll just tidy up this glue a bit better and then I'll be ready for stainless steel splashbacks to get measured up. So while the electrician had the power off, I started work on this floor here. Didn't need electricity to swing a hammer and a bolster. I got this plinth out, put it on the trolley, wheeled it out to the bin. So this tile smashing must be day 6. I had the electrician in. He worked on redoing all the power points and light switches and putting new lights in. And while he was doing that, I got on the bolster and started smashing tiles. Did the splashbacks and started on the floor. It was a big job. I should have hired a machine. But you do these things and you learn for next time.